It's time for AggroChat, the official podcast of the Tales of the Aggronaut blog and stalwart gaming community, where we talk about stuff and things, and the stuff about the things, and sometimes gaming. I'm Belghast, and let's start the show. Hey folks, it's that time again. Time for another episode of AggroChat. This is episode 545. Tonight I'm joined by Ammo.
Hello.
Ashgar.
Hello.
Grace.
Hello.
Kodra.
So long, you spooky season.
Tam.
I am so full of Reese's Cups.
And Thalen.
Hi there.
I also need to find someone to give lots of candy to, because I only really had 2 trick-or-treaters.
Oh man, we had so
It
many.
rained here. It rained a lot here.
Gross.
I was out in the rain for like 40 minutes.
Only 40 minutes? Your kids? Oh my god. I'm very jealous that your kids were like,
Mhm.
cool, 40 minutes is enough for us.
I was happy that we actually stayed out for a while, because up until this year, like every previous year, my son has been like, we'd hit like 4 or 5 houses and then he's like, I'm tired, I want to go home. Like forcing him to go to more houses to get more candy. But this year, actually stayed out for a while. He got a pretty good haul.
Cool.
Well, first off, every single house was like, why are you out here? Please take a handful of candy.
Yes.
So we still got a
That's
pretty
good.
decent haul. And then the other one was one of our costumes was made of cardboard, which does not hold up to the elements as well.
That's fair.
It was so cute, though.
It's very cute.
Super cute.
My daughter was a baby Belghast because my son was Hornet and she wanted to be his friend.
So
That in itself is also precious.
Like everything about this is wonderful.
tiny raincoat Tinkerbell stuck it out in, I'm not kidding you, pouring rain
Yup.
with her big 7-year-old friend for
Oh,
90
yeah.
minutes.
Oh.
That's impressive.
And the only reason she stopped was because she said, my pumpkin is too heavy. My pumpkin is too heavy to carry. It's a little pumpkin bucket. That thing is horrendously full of candy. I need to emphasize that my child is 3. She does not need that much candy.
I mean, the couple of people that came by, I was giving them my sized handfuls of candy, trying to diminish the stack of candy, but no, I still have too much. So, Friday was the launch of the Path of Exile season. This one is Keepers of the Flame. It is Breach themed.
Rework.
It's
And,
a Breach rework.
like,
and it's
Breach
well-
is better. Like, Breach is just better now.
Yeah. This is a very welcome change. Breach was not the most interesting mechanic. Breach is doing some things. Well, there's now kind of 2 Breach modes, right?
Well, there's
Actually-
technically 3 Breach modes,
Okay,
but I've not encountered. So, kind of like with Abyss, you could go down to the abyssal depths. Sometimes in Breaches, like a Sky Fortress spawns of some sort, where you can go fight through that, and it's kind of a hybrid of the 2 modes where you're burning through the walls, but you're trying to get to a boss at the center and take out the boss.
Oh, so you're fighting the fortress as it's down.
Yeah. So basically, like, there's a very Blight reminiscent mode of Breach where you are trying to defend someone as they close the breach, and depending on how many of the fortifications you burn down, it determines how hard it's going to be to keep them alive. Because, like, if you are careful with how you enter, so basically you get this graft where you have an appendage growing out of your back now, and
Okay.
it's not you. So you can't take reflected damage from it, but you also can't buff anything about it. It just does what it does. So, like, the graph that I am using is amazing. Basically, when I attack, it fires off 3 fire whirlwinds that give things the condition covered in ash. But basically, like, for me as an RF player, it triggers off of my shield charge.
Yeah, that's your only attack, right?
So I'm shield charging in and covering things in ash, and then it takes 40% more damage while covered in ash.
That's
and
pretty cool.
Yeah, and then there's another one that I've played with that I will probably adopt once I can have 2 graphs, which is basically like Molten Shell that triggers whenever you would need it. It just auto fires every so often when you get low on health.
I am fascinated by this idea that these triggered. I finally did figure out what's going on, which is I don't have a triggered graft. I have a command graft.
Would you like some graphs? Because I probably have other ones. Like, what elements do you care about?
I mean, I care about fire, but
Okay.
I also care about projectiles. So there might be some projectile related graphs. I don't know.
Yeah, like a lot of them, what they're doing is they're applying some of the conditions that are harder to apply. Like one of them applies sapped, which is a great defensive, ailment to apply to things. Because I think it causes them to deal less damage. There's probably some really interesting graphs that we've not even seen yet, but
I mean, the Covered in Ash one was revealed before, like during the lead up to the launch, so everybody knew about it.
Right. And it's like, if you're playing any kind of a fire build, it is just a universally good thing to do.
Yeah, that might be what I eventually want.
I probably have a version of it that you could just slot in, and I can throw some in the guild bank. But
that's interesting. It's on attack, you say?
Yeah,
Yep.
on an attack. Like, actually, it's on hit.
On hit.
It is attack hit though.
But does it require me to hit?
It requires you to use an attack that hits.
Okay. So that would probably also be shield charge for me.
Yep.
Shield charge or whatever your movement ability is, they're almost all attacks.
Is like Frost Blink and Flame Dash attacks?
No, Frost Blink and Flame Dash are spells.
I was about to say.
Well, the nice thing about shield charge is you can technically fire shield charge without moving if you just want to re-up the buff or the debuff. So it's pretty nice. The other component of this is, anyway, so we explained the protect the person version of Breach.
Which
There's
I really
also
like.
more traditional Breach that's just kill a bunch of stuff and then it eventually collapses. But regardless of which of these modes you're playing, it feels to me that low effort Breach is way more rewarding than it was previously.
Well, okay, so let's talk about a couple of things going on here that I think makes that better. With the one thing with the traditional Breach where Breach is you hit a thing and then a circle expands around and a bunch of enemies start spawning into the circle. And my experience with it in the past is then arbitrarily at some point the breach collapses and everything goes away, and I hope you killed enough things in the time you had. You don't really know what's going on. At least in this mode, there's a little bar that shows how the mechanic is actually working. As you're killing things, this bar is expanding. And as time goes on, this bar is filling up. And so if you keep killing things faster than time goes, the bar keeps giving you more time and letting you know you want to be killing things to have more time here. And then when they meet, the breach collapses.
Right. The bar specifically looks like a Greater Rift bar from Diablo 3, where you've basically got 2 colors and your progress is marked in one and the timer is marked in another.
But this is good messaging actually from a mechanic that previously did not have it. The
Correct.
Other thing is you don't there are no more hands that you have to go and interact with only while the breach is up.
I think they did fix that one last patch.
Did they?
Just running over top of the hands interacted with them, but
their hands are gone.
I am happy not to have them.
Yeah.
Fair.
And then the other thing is you get a breach-specific currency, Graft Blood, at the end of all of these. And Graft Blood lets you spend to get graft items. And graft items are cool because you go to the tree and then you have on the tree a tree, and the tree allows you to interact with a whole bunch of different mechanisms for getting different cool new items.
Yeah, I printed a 6-link chest with the tree, and like 6-link prices are bottom basement because it is kind of easy once you get to a sufficient level to just print like 6 links or max linked items in general. Cause like there's 2 things you can choose, and I forget, like one of them is it rerolls the item 25 times, keeping the highest number of sockets and links. And then the other one is it does it 150 times. So basically,
oh wow,
times.
Yeah. So basically, like you're getting 200 chances to get a 6-link, and even if you don't get 6 links, you can get some very early 5 links, which like I'm not even through the campaign and I've got a 6-link.
And let me just say, this can only also be a good thing because of how important it is for you to have a 6-link into maps and how hard and annoying it was to get those previously.
It's like everything about the Necromancer graves, but it's way easier. Like
except the Necromancer graves required 40 minutes of setup time to get going, and this is just, I've already set up my trees. And so now I'm going to go and put another item in and say, give me a new item.
Right. And you needed like 80 some corpses realistically to craft a single item. And
this, you just need 1.
Right. And it also like, it's very easy to spec into abilities where it basically like poops out multiple items at once. So it's not just that you're having 1 chance at an item. You're oftentimes getting like 3, 4, whatever chances at an item, which makes it way more likely that one of them is going to roll halfway decent if you're specifically targeting a thing.
Also, Blight is just a generally good, fun game mechanic, and having Blight 2.0 is pretty welcome.
Breach.
I did not stutter.
Oh, you mean Blight?
I mean Blight. I mean, having a tower defense mode that you play is a fun way to play PoE. And now I have a new way of doing a tower defense mode in PoE.
Except for you're the tower now.
Yeah, like I wasn't the tower in Blight before.
I mean, the big difference here is like it's very... Okay, so this is a thing that's important to say, and I mentioned this in chat, but this is an undocumented change, but it is a massive change. You can see objects on the map easily twice as far away as you could previously.
Oh, like enemies?
No, like objectives.
Oh.
So like if you see expedition, for example, it'll show up way the hell away. So I need to go over there and do the exposition, or I don't care. The same thing's true with the breaches.
I have a strong suspicion on why this is the case. Because one of the breaches you can interact with is just this big purple dome, and you start tearing down the walls until you get to the center where a hand is. Well, you can start finding a breach wall on the other side of a actual physical wall. And so you're like, wait, there's a breach nearby. Where the heck is this thing? And it's very convenient that as soon as you're in the breach, you can see on the mini map where the breach hand is and kind of get an idea how to navigate to it.
But it's not just breach. It's like zone exits. It's other objectives. It's like all the stupid fireflies in the Vol Temple area. You can not Vol Temple, but it was right before you get to the Vol Temple. Like you can see them so much faster, so that you're not like trying to find where the last one was.
Yeah, I highly suspect that what happened is they were testing this and people were realizing they were encountering breach and had no idea where the breach hand was, and it was very frustrating.
Possible, but like it has greatly improved everything else.
Just saying, this is the game where they're allowed to have fun. This isn't PoE 2. We're allowed to have fun in this game.
What's wild to me is they specifically came out and said that they are not attempting to onboard additional players into PoE 1, that it is mostly for veterans. yet almost everything that's been brought in like the last 2 leagues have been massive quality of life improvements.
I mean, the thing is that I feel like those statements are kind of reversed, but like I also understand like PoE 1 is kind of overwhelming still. Like you can pretty easily get lost going on in this game. Which I mean, you obviously can do that in PoE 2 as well, but for some reason they don't care about that. I was gonna say there was I think the other thing that I'm fascinated by is like so you mentioned that they the map gets harder. Is it like when you light up the blue dots and turn them purple that the map gets harder on the tower defense
No,
mode?
it's just that you don't have funnels that everything is arriving in.
Well, that's kind of true, except for the natural funnels that the map might provide.
Right. But like if you're cautious in approaching the breach, you can make sure you don't burn all the way through whatever's behind the breach. So you've at least got a natural dam there to keep things from heading that way. So if you're kind of cautious approaching the breach, you can control the difficulty of the tower defense mode.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's definitely a point of like I am playing in ARPG. I know that one of the things I want to do is have as many enemies in front of my face die, so I have as many rolls to get the epic loots.
Yeah, like so if you've got a lot of damage projection, as in cover the screen damage projection, then you're probably going to purposefully clear all the walls before you start the breach, because that will mean more things are attacking at once.
Which my build is definitely all of the damage protection.
Bouncing in every direction.
Especially now that you have Nimbus at home.
I am playing Rolling Magma Mines because it is apparently the one mine build that survived on Saboteur. There's apparently a ton of different mine builds elsewhere in the tree, but I want to play a mine build on the class that says it's good at mines.
I was gonna say, like, I know there's a strong trickster mine build with what you call it?
I know the one
Exsanguinate.
I know that there's an Exsanguinate mine build. Did that survive? Because I know Trickster got really hit.
Exsanguinate actually got
hit with survivability.
Yeah, Exsanguinate actually got some buffs. So it's Exsanguinate Reap is probably more powerful than it was previously.
What was the mines build you linked me, Bell?
Eye Shot of Penetration.
Eye Shot of Penetration is apparently a really good mine build.
Huh. Is that like a Locust Mines thing?
No, it's not. There's a new ability that lets you put like a wall, and the whole idea is that you're just trying to get this to bounce off of walls.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's basically inverse firewall, where instead of getting it to bounce through the firewall, you're basically putting this wall behind the target, and your projectiles are bouncing off the wall back into the target. I forget what the name of the new ability is. It's one of the Wander physical abilities that they added in, but like it also works for essentially anything with lots of projectiles from a bow standpoint or anything like that. I really want to try Conflagrate, which is essentially Rain of Explosive Arrow.
I do think I decided from last build that as powerful and as much fun as EA Champion is, that is not an active enough play style for me.
Yeah, you probably...
It is real passive, even compared to some other totem builds.
Well, it's because it's so delayed. It's like it takes longer to realize the damage than a lot of totem builds.
But yes, I definitely think this is a much better version of Breach, although I do worry that part of the answer to how to make things better does seem to be just throw a more complicated tree at it.
I do kind of wonder what the long-term ramifications of this are going to be. Because like I think some version of this new breach is going to stick around. I do not know if the Genesis tree will stick around.
Almost certainly not.
Ooh, interesting. I don't think this breach makes sense without the Genesis tree.
This breach does not make sense without graphs at a minimum.
Yeah, but like the like reward stuff you're getting is this graft blood that you're then using to pump into Genesis trees to get items.
Right.
And so like you can say that, but like I don't know, we got to keep the items generated from the sailing stuff from King's March.
King's March,
King's March, yeah. Yeah, basically like between King's March and now this tree, there are so many easy ways to get early gear. It's not even funny. And like gambling just in itself is shockingly good. I mean, I pulled my first 5-link off gambling that I was running around with for a long time until I printed a 6-link. And again, I've not finished the campaign yet. Mostly because I'm spending way too much time doing these side breach areas that, you know, like if I had rushed through the campaign, I would long be out of the campaign, but I'm having fun doing the side content.
I was about to say, I always enjoy doing the side content during the campaign, and this one definitely feels good.
It's good when the league mechanic feels good to do as you are working your way up, and not
Because
like
it
something
hasn't
to be avoided.
always. The forest
Listen,
comes to mind here.
I was about to
man.
say, the forest definitely comes to mind. I don't know. I didn't mind bricky. Like, it was funny, at least for me, a little bit.
It was funny.
Like, oh
But it was a great way to just create a boss you couldn't beat during the campaign.
Yeah.
Like if you were unlucky enough to rift Katava, which I was.
I'm trying to remember the Act 1 boss, but I rifted her and that was a bad time.
I've heard there's a foul blood version of Headhunter. So that's another thing that, or Foulborn. That's another thing that comes with the Genesis tree is you can create weird versions of existing uniques that have had one of the stats replaced with something else, but it's like a bespoke replacement. So like they did all these by hand. So some of them are useful. Like one of them is like Rise of the Phoenix is a shield that has massive amounts of life regeneration. Well, there's a Foulborn version that swaps the life regeneration for energy shield regeneration, which is useful for a particular kind of build. Supposedly
I'm surprised because I expected them to be mostly random.
No, it's like literally swapping this stat for a different stat, and they created custom versions of them, but not everything has a Foulborn version. Like there's no Foulborn Immortal Flesh, for example. At least not that I've seen. Because I was curious what that would be. But anyway, so supposedly there's a version of Headhunter that not only gives you the normal Headhunter buff, but also gives you the Soul Eater buff.
Ooh.
Yes. I do not
What
expect...
line on Headhunter are you giving up for this?
I don't know. I've not seen it myself. I've just seen people talking about it. I doubt... Because the thing is they purposefully avoided whatever the one line that is the identity line for that unique. So I don't know what you're giving up, because mostly a Headhunter is that buff and a bunch of attributes.
Yeah, a bunch of dexterity, and I don't even remember what else it has.
Only one of those lines is really significant.
It's true. So significant that it's made it into other games. Risk of Rain is a Headhunter.
It's hilarious. Like the thing is like the difference between Headhunter and Mage Blood is Mage Blood feels just like a cheat code, whereas Headhunter is actually doing something fun. Like sometimes it's going to give you a result that you really don't want, aka the one where you can collect the Flicker Strike ability, which means if you're a bow build, you're going to be, probably dying because you keep Flicker Striking into combat every time you fire. Anyway, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. I am not anywhere near seasoned in this event yet, but I am very interested to see how this shakes out as we figure out more tree shenanigans or tree shenanigans.
Tree.
They gave the tree a tree.
They gave the tree a tree.
I heard you like trees.
They put multiple trees in the tree.
and wombs. Anyway, so news that kind of has hit me kind of hard is Amazon Game Studios is basically gone. It is no longer a thing. And New
Games
World
industry is in a bad state right now, folks. Just in case you were wondering, it's not good out there.
So New World, after a lot of time, had actually turned into a fairly decent game. It was pretty fun. They had made a lot of tweaks to it. They just released what is supposedly really good content with Night Haven, and then a few days after that launch, the entire studio was rift, and basically an announcement was made that New World would stay active through 2027 at least, but no additional content would be released. And as a result, like 90% of the player base is just gone because nobody wants to play a game that's essentially a zombie shambling along. Kind of like none of us, even though, what was the BioWare looter shooter?
Anthem. Yeah,
technically Anthem isn't shutting down until this year, but nobody's been playing it because it also was living in this zombie state. Like the shadiest part of this is they're keeping the cash shop open.
Oof.
Okay, even like mobile free-to-play games shut down the cash shop after this announcement.
Yes.
Yeah.
With some exceptions.
But Amazon's real interested in going whole hog into AI games.
Are they, though?
AI generated games, supposedly the thing that they've announced they're working on.
Are they
Hooray.
though? Are they? So
I don't
are
actually
they,
believe that coming from Amazon, of all things.
Are they interested because that's what they think the capital markets want to hear?
Could be. But also, like, that bubble is starting to wane. I've seen some numbers indicating that is like the LLM market has already peaked and is now heading down the other direction.
I want to believe.
I don't like.
Yeah, same.
I saw some numbers 2 weeks ago on the launch of Sora that every video generated with Sora costs OpenAI $5.
Oh, but they're going to make up all that money by like making licensing deals with companies to allow people to make AI videos using their stuff, right? That's definitely a thing that companies will be interested in doing.
Yeah.
I swear.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Like, it's hard because New World was for a time a very fun game. It sucks to see it go like this, and like it's also wild because how many MMOs have actually shut down. Like this is a pretty uncommon occurrence.
There have been a lot, just not a lot recently.
Yeah, like it was, there was that spate of them. That one company that was known as the executioner of MMOs for a while.
Yes, that's fair.
But yeah, it's been less common, it seems like.
It doesn't take a lot to run an MMO on life support.
Yeah.
I mean, but there's been a lot of games that have come back out of the deep freeze and are functional again. God, what's the Tryon Worlds one that had the TV show behind it? Defiance is back.
Really?
A company bought the license and is now running it again. Yeah.
What?
Wild.
And it is seemingly has an active player base.
Okay.
Call me when WildStar is back.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of these companies that have been basically made a job out of being maintenance mode for MMOs.
I mean, that's what Daybreak does, right?
Well, I think it's like Broadsword now instead of Daybreak.
Okay, whatever.
But still, yeah, like that was their business model essentially was the retirement home for MMOs. But and I'll be honest, like they've been decent stewards of everything that I've played underneath them, and they're continuing to release content for a lot of them. So I don't know. I can't be mad. Like I would love somebody to take over, WildStar.
Lotro still exists after all.
Yeah. And will continue to be the only Lord of the Rings MMO, I guess.
Yes, because that's another thing that got canceled as a result of this. I guess members from that team have basically come out and said, we think y'all would have liked it.
Yeah, but is this the same people who thought we'd like New World? The original vision of New World?
No, totally different group of people.
No, different group of
Okay,
people.
fair.
I mean, reasonable question.
New World had some false steps along the way.
Yeah, definitely had some growing pains.
They were definitely doing the everyone always fools themselves into thinking a PvP open PvP MMO is gonna be the solution, and it never does. But maybe this time will be different.
I will say, like, the one thing that New World did exceptionally well was nailing the vibe of the world and the exploration and gathering loop.
Yeah, no, that was really good.
Combat was, combat probably wasn't my favorite combat system, but roaming around looking for resources was one hell of a vibe. And like a lot of the zones legitimately felt spooky. Like the first time you crossed over into Brightwood, that was a spooky place.
I honestly don't know that I got there. I didn't get super far into that game.
I mean, they managed to make the end game zones feel real dangerous, which is a thing that not a lot of MMOs have done over the last several years. I mean, over the last decades. I mean, it like going into Shattered Mountain the first time felt like going into one of the Plains of Power zones for the first time in EQ. So we'll go from stressful gameplay and frustration in news to very chill gameplay. Powerwash Simulator?
This game has been around for ages, and the fact that there's a sequel got me... Well, the fact that there's a sequel got me, like, curious. So, like, what exactly are you doing a sequel to? Why would you not just release new content?
A thing they've been doing for some time, including crossovers,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
40K vehicles and
Right.
Laura Croft's house.
That was
Back
the
to the
thing that I was
Future.
going to mention. It was like the crossovers are just so zany.
There's a Final
Yeah.
Fantasy VII one that's free.
There's a Final Fantasy VII crossover. And the thing is, and the bit that got me is that there's a plot. This game buries its narrative lead deeper than anything I have ever seen in my life. But there is actually a plot, and like you realize it as you're playing. If you like take a break like I did and play, like, oh, I'm gonna play the Final Fantasy thing or whatever the case is, but was like, oh, they're telling a story here, and that's wild. Like, there's this ongoing thing in the like core campaign. There's this ongoing thing about the mayor's cat, and also the mayor kind of sucks.
The mayor is awful, just awful.
Like, the mayor's terrible, and like you're slowly. I mean, part of it is people just like send you texts while you're cleaning because I don't know, they have nothing better to do.
And sometimes the things they're texting you, you're just like, why are you telling me this?
Why are you telling me this? Like, it starts very like, this is the tutorial. We're using people texting you to give you like tutorial information. Very helpful. And it just keeps on going. And I realized we were doing something weird when I was cleaning a specialty elementary school. And I guess one of the I start getting a bunch of like random, poorly spelled, insulting text messages. Slowly becomes apparent that it's one of the kids has stolen the teacher's phone and is texting you. But yeah, there's just a weird plot going on that is slowly building.
Yeah,
And also
it starts out with this missing cat, and also there's a volcano in the distance that sometimes you can see in various levels. It gets mentioned every so often. One of your good friends is a volcanologist, and he's studying it. And it's really neat, and it's perfectly safe. It's not going to, erupt anytime soon. Yep.
Yeah, like, what is happening? And it's so low key about it. You could play this game for hours and not pick up what it's putting down very reasonably. But as I do, I'm like, wait a minute, what? all right, I guess I'm going to clean this other building to figure out what the heck people are talking about. Like, these people are just straight up confessing murders to me. Seems bad. It's also just a really, like, chill, satisfying game to play. I didn't think I would enjoy it. It'll be like, oh, this is boring, but it's kind of not. Also, part of it is, like, just the essential joy of Power Washer is pretty cool. Because I've seen these things in real life, and being able to play one in a video game is oddly satisfying. Just like spray things down as hard as possible, and it's all clean underneath. Deeply satisfying.
Yeah, and so you're still playing the first one.
Yeah, I haven't jumped into the second one yet.
I've been playing the second one. I think I'm in the back half of the story, I think, and it is. I mean, it's basically the same gameplay. There's some additions, like a surface cleaner that you can use that's a little quicker for cleaning like flat surfaces, floors and walls and things. Some other stuff, but mostly it's the same stuff. But it continues the story. Like, it's full of characters from the original game, plus some new characters. That mayor is back.
Oh man.
Among others. Like, I've one mission that I've had, the place where I was cleaning, I realized that, oh, there's parts of a thing here that I cleaned in the first game. Interesting. So that's what happened to that. And stuff like that. So yeah, it continues to be fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm probably gonna pick up the sequel as I work my way through it. It's just a really, 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 really chill time. There's a bunch of like stuff you can do. Like, it's not a totally skill-free game, which is what I thought it was. Like, there's definitely effort that you can put into getting it right, but like mostly what you're getting out of that is efficiency, not I can't clean this at all. And so it's kind of nice to be able to say, to be able to modulate exactly how much effort you feel like putting in without it being like an explicit, I'm setting a difficulty. It's just like, oh, you can get really into using the soaps, which cost money and are limited use, and you probably want to upgrade your sprayer over time, but like you can just sort of do that when it feels right. And like soap is kind of hard, is harder to use because you've got a limited amount of it and you burn through it pretty fast, but it can be very effective. But like you don't have to.
Yeah, in the original game I mostly forget to use soap.
Yeah.
The second game actually makes soap, instead of something that you have to buy, you just have it when you use it, it will run out and then slowly recharge over time.
Oh, that's probably.
So it's useful for, getting really hard to get, really stubborn stuff off of surfaces, but you're not just going to use it all the time. So
yeah, it's just a chill, soothing game. And I find myself like happily giving them more money because I feel like the like wacky crossover stuff is surprisingly well thought out and cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a lot of effort put into it.
Yeah, there's that too. Like the level designs can be really interesting, and like in addition to the story that you get from the text messages that are being sent to you, there are plenty of jobs where you're basically being told story by the level itself.
Yeah,
they do a really good job with that.
Like, I'm pretty sure I'm haunted. Like, there's like weird graffiti symbols that keep on coming up, and I keep being told not to worry about them, but they keep cropping up in places that I don't think they should be. But yeah, for a game that I fully expected to be silly and not that interesting, I understand why why so many people are into this one.
It's very funny because I've never heard anyone talk about the story in this game. So
I had not heard anybody talk about the story of this game until like the second one came out, and people were like, "Oh yeah, I'm really interested in them continuing the story." Leading into a bunch of people on various portions of social media be like, "Sorry, what story? What story?" Like, "Oh, you haven't played it? You don't know about the story?" And like,
no.
The
story. I was gonna say it is. I will I will question if this or Warframe does a better job at hiding its story late into the game. Although I guess now if you start
Warframe has made efforts to
Yeah,
expose you to its story significantly earlier.
Mhm.
I was playing Warframe the other day, just, I don't know, because I've been on a looter shooter kick, and
Which is funny because it really
It
isn't
is.
one.
it is way easier to get into that game. Like, even though my account has random stuff unlocked, it still has basically a step-by-step quest that I can follow to get me through all the high points.
That's so good. They've needed that for so long.
Introduces you to characters that you might care about.
That's good because they need it to be a game that's easy to get into, so that folks coming over from Starfinder can do that.
I still can't believe that that's a thing.
It's like this week, isn't it?
It just came out.
So bizarre.
So this week, Grace and I finished the raid in Destiny Rising, and that was pretty cool. There's 3 parts to the raid, and up until this point, we had only ever queued for the first one.
So the first part is not exactly straightforward. Like, it definitely has mechanics, but it's not too bad. And it just sort of, I had the sense that there weren't a lot of people queuing for the other pieces, but I'm not sure that that's actually true.
Yeah. And each part of the raid has like its own exotic that only comes from the raid. So in theory, like, there's reason to queue for them. I still need one of them, the last part, but like there's some nonsense going on with part 2, but part 3 was like kind of the most straightforward boss fight ever.
Yeah, and part 2, I did run a second time on my own, and so now I do understand what's happening. And like, it's an impressive amount of coordination and complexity for a mobile game. Like, you have multiple groups of people doing separate things on separate sides. There's sort of a diagram that you have to match by clicking on things. One person goes in a room and does a thing, and the other people are out and do a thing, and it all just sort of works. Like, the game is very good at, like, one person will go in and then the teleporter turns off, so everybody else is stuck outside. And like, once both sides have done their thing, the people outside just get teleported directly inside. And so there's no like flailing around wondering where I go or what I do. It's pretty clearly spelled out.
Yeah,
But
it felt way more reasonable to be the person that doesn't know what's going on in part 2 more than it is in part 1.
Mm-hmm.
Because essentially everyone kind of has to know what to do on part 1, and otherwise you wipe the entire raid and it feels real bad.
Yeah, and it doesn't quite feel like there's that in part 2. And again, in part 3, like, 2 people have to go in a room and basically decode something to find out which part of the boss is vulnerable, and then mark it for the rest of the raid. And so if that got screwed up, it would probably be problematic, but it's also pretty well telegraphed what you're supposed to be doing once you're in there.
So I was on the outside, and not even having a marked boss, the part that you were supposed to hit was the only part that was actually showing visible taking of damage, even before they marked it.
Yeah, but it just, like, it really surprised me with how complex they made it, and yet it just works for 6 random strangers.
I think that's the main accomplishment, is how LFR friendly it is.
It's fun. Like, it's also fun because I could definitely envision a world where it was complicated and annoying and not fun at all. But that's not what's happening either. Like, everything goes pretty quickly. It is timed, so you do have to try to get through all of the pieces as quick as you can. and it flows and it's fun. And the boss fight, the third part, was fun. Like I don't know. Maybe I will get. I'm sure I'll start getting bored of it when I've done it a million times. But for the time being, like, I'm excited to have all the parts unlocked and be able to mess with them, because just running the first one all the time was a little monotonous, even though I enjoy the gameplay of it when people know what they're doing.
Yeah, when you've got a team that knows what they're doing, that first one goes so fast.
Is this a thing where you need at least one person to know what they're doing, or does the game message itself well enough that that's not required?
I think if no one knew what they were doing on part 2, it might take a couple tries, but things are things are either reasonably telegraphed or they mirror things you have seen elsewhere. So
Yeah.
for instance, you go in the room and there's something projected on a screen, and you're supposed to click on the two consoles that match the glyph on the screen, and that is a mechanic that is introduced in sort of the pre-raid 6-person groups. So you've seen it before, and there's a portion where you have to kill a mob and it drops a gun, and when you pick up the gun it very clearly marks the things you're supposed to shoot with that gun, and that's a mechanic that you will have seen elsewhere before. So it might take a few tries to get it all coordinated clearly, but I think you could go in blind and eventually do it in just a few tries.
Yeah, like all of the fights that you do in Blitz really are tutorials for things that you're going to encounter. Because, like, you see a wall of electricity and you see, like, these canisters off in the distance, and oh, it's like that thing where we had to carry the canister, which created a bubble so that we could get through the wall of electricity. And now I need to just do that and do some other stuff too. So, like, it's really well designed in the grand scheme of things, like how all of this content flows together and has essentially built up a visual vocabulary for what you're going to expect to see.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was like with Guild Wars 2, where you probably want to have a commander tag with you because they'll explain everything.
Yeah,
No,
nobody
there's
actually
no
communicates in
explaining.
this game. So, in fact, we actively usually have voice chat turned off because it's just some rando yelling at people sometimes.
Well, that's unfortunate. Because, like, when you were describing, oh, this game kind of, like, is impressive in that it lets you have fairly complicated encounters that you can play with randoms. My point of reference is Guild Wars 2, which has, I would say, extremely complicated encounters that you're expected to do with a zone full of randoms.
I would say the mechanics are better messaged than most Guild Wars 2 metas.
Fair.
But we're also at some point getting new content, so I'm actually really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm excited because I think the new content we're getting is going to be more Blitz, and that's sort of the precursor. So I'm excited to see what mechanics are in there,
Yes.
because that is almost certainly going to foreshadow what's coming in the next raid tier.
I kind of wish more raiding in games followed this idea that there's like a pre-raid content that teaches you all the mechanics that the raid is eventually going to have. And like, there's been cases where mechanics showed up in non-raid content, but a lot of times it was well after the fact, and the first time it existed was in a raid, and maybe an expansion or two down the road it's in a dungeon. But like, I kind of like the idea of, here's this mechanic showing up in this lower stakes content, so that hopefully by the time you make it to the higher stakes content, you can read that mechanic successfully.
I also I like that there's a lot of moving parts, but everything is clear enough that you can hop into it with a group of strangers and do it without a lot of explanation.
Yeah.
I think the first piece of the raid is probably the part that does that the least well. Just because you have to pick up these keys and it's not clear right away that the keys let you go through a barrier. I feel like if they put a big key or a lock or something on image on that barrier, it would be a lot clearer what you're supposed to do with the keys.
Well, I think the piece that's even worse message, though, is that you need to stand on the platforms.
I mean, I feel like that's reasonably messaged because they start glowing.
Yeah, but you
And
can
they
only
move
really
up-
see that if you're over by the platforms.
Yeah, I guess. They move up and down when you touch them, so it's clear something is happening when you're standing on them. But
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, it's just funny because we had been sort of avoiding the back two pieces of this raid content for fear of its complexity, when in fact, honestly, the first piece is probably the worst for that.
Yeah. So I know we talked briefly about dispatch, but I assume y'all have made it further at this point.
Yes. So when we talked about it before, it hadn't actually come out yet. And it has been released. The first
you
four
check it anyway.
episodes, yes, the first 4 episodes of 8 are out now because they're releasing 2 episodes
okay.
per week. Because this is, in all practical purposes, for all practical purposes, this is a Telltale game. This is an episodic game, and in a lot of ways, it's like playing a streaming series. Each episode takes about an hour to play, and it's.
Let's turn off QTs.
Yeah, and there are QuickTime events. You can decide whether you want to have them or not.
New.
You can also the 2 choices that it asks you to make at the very beginning before you start playing is: do you want QuickTime events, or do you just want to watch the cutscenes? And do you want filthy language?
Yeah.
And some nudity.
It's really good. Like my partner and I have been playing through it, and they're really excited because it's like, oh, I didn't realize people made video games like this. It's like watching a.
Yeah, it is a fantastic story. Like, this could just be an 8-part series on Netflix, and I would watch it.
Yeah,
I like it better as something that I'm playing, but like, it's that good. The vibe,
it's got great voice acting. It's genuinely funny.
Yes, genuinely funny and genuinely like emotionally affecting.
Yeah.
The story beats are fantastic.
Yeah, it's really good.
It should surprise no one that the character played by Laura Bailey is fantastic and important to the story.
Who is Laura Bailey?
Tolly.
Yeah, from Critical Role.
Well, no, I mean.
Invisigal.
Okay, yeah.
Also Tolly Zora.
Yeah, I know the other things that she's done.
But yeah, she's voicing Invisigal, and Invisigal's great. But the overall vibe of this is in the same area as Invincible. Like, both visually, it's very bright and colorful, like a comic book story, and the humor is in that area.
Is it made by somebody who's less angry about Superman?
I'm pretty sure yes. The Superman analog has not demonstrated any tendency towards being evil or insanely violent. Mostly he just doesn't quite know how to people.
He's really, really, really bad at reading scripts. Just a terrible actor.
And he's also voiced by Travis Willingham.
Who is Travis William?
Also from Critical Role.
Oh, okay.
Also Laura Bailey's husband.
This game.
He was Roy Mustang.
Yes.
Yes. This game gave me pause when I first saw it because it has one of the things they show you in the trailer is the invariably incredibly awkward press conference then it's like right at the beginning of the game, and I'm like, oh god, this is going to be just painfully awkward. But it isn't.
Like
Or,
the choices are great. Like
Yeah, like the choices of things you can do and say are great. Like you get a sense of the character pretty early on, and they're great. It's just I really like this character, and it's funny, and I'm interested in what happens to them.
yeah, it's I worried a little bit that the humor might be a little too much over the top, like goofy, silly. It's not. Like there are silly things, absolutely, but the main story is honestly pretty serious.
Yeah. Like it's funny, but it's also like it's funny, but it's also it's relevant. It's funny because like it's funny because like the lines are funny, but then also they're using those lines to paint a picture of like, hey, these people with superhuman powers are often a little messed up as a result in one way or another. And like, sure, that's a story that's been done, but it's being done really well here.
Like I think the most important part is none of these characters feel like just one-dimensional cardboard cutouts. Like even minor characters, it feels like there's more to them than just that initial, introduction. Except maybe Flambe. I don't know that there's anything more to Flambe than what's on the surface.
Oh, it's really funny. That guy sucks. It's so funny.
He's awful, but I
He's
throw
terrible.
things at him, so it's fine.
Yeah, he's terrible, and the ways in which you can harass him are really funny.
But yeah, but going back to the choices, like there have been very few choices where I didn't sit there almost till the timer had run out, deciding which one I wanted to pick. Because this is effectively a Telltale game. It's the same. It works the same way as The Walking Dead, as The Wolf Among Us, where when an option comes up for you to say or do something, you can pick one of the choices. There's also a timer, and if the timer runs out, I know in previous games it's just been you don't say anything. I actually don't know if that's the case here. I haven't tried letting the timer run out.
It defaults.
Okay, it's a default.
Sometimes it'll either default or you'll say nothing.
Okay, that was kind of what I thought, because there have been cases where one of the explicit options was let it go, or don't react.
It's got a little bit of the like a critique I've seen of a lot of like modern media and modern TV shows is like everybody is quipping all the time, and it is doing that, but it actually makes sense here.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're dealing like the fact that you're superheroes, like this would not work if it were just cops. Like the fact that it's superheroes actually makes it really work.
And there are times when they stop with the quipping, or at least dial it down a bit.
Yeah. I mean, and there's other times where they like call it out in the text, like, can you take this seriously for 2 seconds?
That too.
And like it really works. I've been really
because one of the important aspects of the main character, the character you're playing, is that he does in fact take this pretty seriously. Like he has been a superhero for years now. He is the third in a line of superheroes. His father before him, his grandfather before that, and that has been his life. And he does take it seriously. And now he's having to deal with this group of folks that are former villains who are basically being given a second chance
and squandering it.
And yes, and when he comes in, they're not doing a very good job at it. Like it's very much you're kind of these people's last chance to make something of themselves. Let's see if you can figure out some way to whip them into shape.
And some of them I care about. Some of them, I don't know. Maybe they'll get lucky.
Yeah. I mean, there's really only one on the team that I couldn't really care. And maybe he'll surprise me. Maybe Flambe will do something impressive. I doubt it.
Have I mentioned I went to Harvard? It's really good. Like the writing is really good. It's anything where we can sit together and have like a really good laugh and also a cool story. like I said, I've been playing with my partner. It's really fun to have them be like to like jump up at an option, be like, say that. Yeah, highly recommended. It's really really.
Yeah, and there is a demo, which basically is a chunk of the middle of the first episode that covers, a decent bit of like conversational, choice making, and then some of the actual dispatching gameplay. And if you enjoy the demo, you will enjoy the game. If you don't care for the demo, then you're probably not going to like the game on the whole. Like it's a very good representation of the larger game. There's also a great dog. His name is Beef. He's wonderful.
Another thing that happened this week is we got the Guild Wars 2 expansion for this year, Visions of Eternity. I have played a little bit of it, not a ton of it, but the first place that you go is gorgeous. Is a very lovely zone. The new homestead is really gorgeous too. I had the bad fortune of finding a bug that kind of has halted my progress. There is a thing that you are asked to do very quickly, which unlocks a mastery track, but there is also a sequence of events that can cause you not to have unlocked the mastery track, but still can progress the story. So that leads to deadlocking a little ways down the road where you're asked to have 2 ranks of the mastery that I never unlocked. So I had to hop on an alt to unlock the mastery. But other than that, the new zone's been I've really enjoyed it. Not 100% sure what I think of the Gale Shot yet. I like it mostly. I don't know if I'll switch over to it full time. Have played around a little bit with the elemental mancer thing for mage or that allows you to have pets.
Yeah, that's the one, the evoker. That's the one I'm most excited for. What are you doing with that guy? I
just want a pet to follow me around. I mean, like right now I'm doing hammer because I was doing hammer previously.
I am all in on Fox build.
I have been messing around with the new specs. The new engineer spec is probably my new favorite engineer spec.
Really?
Yes.
feel like it's gonna be hard to displace Mechanist for me.
Yeah, but I didn't like Mechanist, so...
Wait, you didn't? This is fascinating. Why did you not like Mechanist?
It's a little boring.
Oh, okay.
I just liked having a robot.
I can.
The robot is cool.
I can kind of see that, but I was so burnt out on... I was playing so many...
But here, understand that I also do not like engineering kits as a concept and mostly don't use them.
Sure. Oh, yes. And I am definitely using an engineering kit. At least one engineering kit in my build. So that's fair. I like Mechanist, and Mechanist lets me solo content I frankly should not be able to.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have
you can solo everything.
I have soloed not champ. What's above champions?
Legendary.
Legendaries.
I've soloed legendaries on that Mechanist.
I have soloed legendaries on the Guardian because the Guardian is unkillable, and anything without a time limit I can just kill. This includes fractal bosses. It takes forever, and I don't like doing it, so I've only done it once, but it is possible.
I mean, I can also technically do this as a ranger, or soul beast more specifically.
Yeah, because they attack your pet. Yes, this is similar.
No.
With soul beast, you probably don't have a pet.
You don't have a pet. I can have a bunch of heals. That's how I do it. I run around with my flying dirt clod, and it gives me 3 new heals in addition to my existing heal, and I can keep myself alive for a really long time.
For me, I have a million different skills to block something. So
yeah, I mean, Guardian in general feels like it has the most sustain in general.
It needs it. It's got the lowest health, tied with Elementalist. Guardian is actually... did myself a disservice starting this game as a Guardian, because starting as a Guardian is really squishy and really hard, and I did not have a great time initially.
I mean, I feel like Warrior is also way squishier than I expected it to be, and that was a thing that made it hard for me to attach to the game initially.
Yeah, that definitely takes some getting used to.
I've mentioned to a few people that, like, if you want to get an easy start on this game, or if you want to give yourself the best chance of not dying horribly in initial stuff, play a Necromancer.
Yep. Necromancer is what I used to learn the game.
Same.
And then once I learned the game, I realized, I would rather play a ranger. But I knew how to survive as a necro, and I wasn't that much squishier. It was just like the pets kept me alive.
Necro is still my second most played class. It might be third after Thief now. The other class with, like, no health.
Like, if you want to play a really strong melee character, I feel like you just want a Reaper. Like, that's a thing, and it is easy, and you have so much sustain. You will only ever die if you do something really dumb. I am happy that, we're no longer in a voice actors strike so that I can have all the voices. Because I gotta say, like, I really need to replay the tail end of Janther on an alt, because it was real rough having only some of the voices.
I had this when they had they're having issues with COVID.
Mm-hmm.
The end of, I mean, there were several other issues with that particular situation, but no voices was making it even worse.
But after Soto and Janther and now Visions of Eternity, like, I really like the release cadence of these yearly expansions. I mean, they're smaller in scope, but it feels like they're a good size, and the content delivery pace feels pretty good. We talked about Outer Worlds 2. Is it a shorter topic or a longer topic?
Mostly just had the chance to actually sink my teeth into it. It's also out properly now.
It is. I have also sank a little bit of my teeth into it.
It's the original I liked. I thought it was a fun game. I don't have like a ton of memories surrounding it, other than I remember I had a pretty good time with this. The second one is starkly better.
The first game kind of felt like the first draft of a game that they didn't have time to do. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like, it had a bunch of pieces, and like, one of the things that I didn't realize was that the Outer Worlds is their take on Fallout.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's
what they build it as.
It's Obsidian Software trying to make their Fallout New Vegas dreams come true again.
Yeah. But it wasn't, I didn't feel it in the first game.
Yeah, I definitely feel it in this game.
It's definitely more apparent here. And yeah, it's sharper. I was looking on Metacritic, and I kind of agree. It's basically like a full point better than the original, and I feel like that's like a point to a point and a half better than the original, and that feels about accurate. And it's interesting to me because even reviews I've read that don't like it score it like a full point and a half better than the original. It is weirdly difficult. Like, for whatever reason, your access to equipment sucks early on. And I've gotten to a point where it feels better, but playing my usual approach of I'm going to take a character, I'm going to max out all of the allows me to break into things skills, and also do like sneak attacky stuff, is rough early on. Like, you just don't have the tools to do that well.
I was about to say it generally just feels like early on you don't have a ton of tools.
Yeah.
Like you're just gonna run across a bunch of things. It's like, nope, you can't do that. This is not the character you built. My one call out is this game is letting me play like there's a trait option at the beginning of the game that like defines your character's backstory, and it has a bunch of different funny in-game things associated with it.
Oh yeah.
I picked and I am getting to roleplay a character that I have always loved in concept, and I don't really see a ton in video games, which is like the character that is just lucky or unlucky and like idiotically walks his way through the most unlikely scenarios.
Yeah, it's really funny. Like you can go whole hog and play like Disco Elysium style fuck up character.
I am, my background is the roustabout, and like it's like you don't know how you got to the position you're in. It's mostly been a series of weird events. You're not really sure you want to keep doing it. Maybe there's going to be like a vending machine operator job at this new place that you could take on. Because like you're pretty sure you're not in the right place. And so I've got a whole bunch of dialogue options based on the fact that I'm a roustabout. Like I am not supposed to be here. And then I also picked lucky as my background, my like core trait. And so I am
Lucky is so funny.
Lucky is hilarious because there's just so many things where it's like, oh man, here's this panel where you could be a super hacker and able to figure out how you get in. Or if you're lucky, you can just mash buttons randomly and get the correct thing.
It's really funny.
It's so much fun. It's like, I am not supposed to be able to do this, but I am just like getting on through here.
It rewards speech really well. I've had multiple boss fights where it's not just that I can talk down the boss, because that's an Obsidian thing. They really like you to be able to do that. I've always enjoyed it. But the ways in which you can talk people down in this game are really funny. I had a boss that like had some miscalculations in their plotting. And so when I talked them down, I basically just like, I was so mean to them about how they messed up that they just like started questioning themselves and gave in. It's like, man, you're just unbelievably incompetent. I didn't realize quite the depths of how badly you messed this plan up. Like, what are you talking about? You just like rip into them. It's really funny. Like, no, I am competent. Oh man, I shouldn't even be here.
I also really enjoy the way that you can just a thing that I find is interesting about this game, unlike most Fallout games, most other games I play, is when I have like a like perk specific dialogue option, it's not always a good dialogue option. Normally when you pick up like a perk and you see, oh, my like the thing I've done that has like I built my character towards has a dialogue option, I'm going to select that because like obviously that's going to be a good thing. No, it is not always. Sometimes your perk is that you're a space ranger and like you shoot really well when you talk. And
you talk like a pulp action hero.
You talk like a pulp action hero, and sometimes that's inappropriate when somebody is grieving over the loss of a friendship.
Yeah, no, it's there's some really funny like so Kodra took the roustabout, I took the academic, and my whole thing is that I'm like a super cutthroat publisher perish like PhD type. And this enables me to be like a huge jerk to people randomly, especially like other academics in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
Which you wouldn't think would come up very often, but it does. More than you might imagine. But it also enables me to talk back to people who are like trying to be intellectual jerks at me.
But I will say, if you're looking for a game in which you're like playing Fallout and looking for the fun, endearing faction that you're gonna fall in love with, you might be looking for a different game.
Oh yeah, no, like I mean, again, much like Fallout, you're not dealing with good factions.
Anyone who's organized in this world is probably terrible.
I mean, yeah, and that's much like Fallout, where basically the only good faction is the one that really isn't that well organized. I love the followers of Apocalypse, but
I like the actual criminals in this game, like the openly we're the mafia. I kind of like them, but no, like 80% of the most competent people in the entire world are on your ship. It's also got a much sharper aesthetic, I think, than the original did. I almost think it has a sharper aesthetic than Fallout in most cases. There's like some stuff with Fallout that's like more iconic, but I think that on the whole, the visuals on this like really nail the like analog Gilded Age kind of vibe they're going for.
I will just throw out a warning, like, you are also working for a at least somewhat organized group, which means the people you're working for are very evil. And I've not yet gotten to the point where I can thoroughly divest myself of them.
I am told that this game is much less open than Fallout games are.
Yes. And I think for the better, actually.
I mean, we've had this discussion before about New Vegas versus other Fallout games.
Yeah. It's definitely it's not like totally linear, but it's more like it's definitely doing the like melon snake thing. And I think that it works. It has, on the one hand, it has no inventory limit. Unlike Fallout or anything done by Bethesda, you want to pick stuff up to your heart's content. There's a lot of stuff to pick up. They will never stop you. Which I know at least one person here is into.
More than one.
I always mod that functionality out.
Yeah, no, it's default. I spent a bunch of time trying to figure out what my inventory limit was before realizing that nope, there just isn't one. They don't care.
I always appreciate having LucasArts adventure game inventory. Everything will fit in my pants. It's fine.
But you do have to be okay. Like, it will not let you be a completionist. There's going to be some stuff where, like, you're just not going to have the check to do that thing.
Yep.
And that's I mean, those are the choices you made. They matter. It's okay. It's not like you'll be blocked, but like that particular thing you won't be able to do.
Yeah, there's just I did not take lockpicking or hacking, and there's just a lot of stuff I didn't do. I even tried to like mend this a little bit by putting some points into those. I just don't get enough skill points, but boy, I have yet to find anything that needed lockpicking 1 after the first area.
They have the other thing that I think the game does that's interesting is they have flaws that they're like additional bonus perks that crop up based on the things you do in the game. And they generally have an upside and a downside, and some of them are very interesting. Because I bought the collector's edition, the very first one they smack you with is consumerist, which is both funny, like, yes, you have successfully called me out, but also it's like, oh, you're super materialist and you're obsessed with the shiny new thing and don't really think about the old thing. So you take a penalty to sales of items to vendors, but all of your vendor costs are cheaper. And that's like a fairly basic one. But one of the ones I got was easily distracted, which is you get 50% more skill points per level. You can only raise skill points that are either 0 or the lowest value you have of the ones you put points in.
Oh my.
And I bought into it. I was like, I want more skill points. But there are definitely times where I'm like,
I wish I could get points in this thing I was already good at.
Look, I wish I could be better at this thing. You cannot. But yeah, very, very funny game. I've been having a really good time with it.
Any final thoughts about anything we've talked about or any short topics?
Star Citizen thinks that its next system is coming out before the end of the year. We will see.
Well, hopefully you enjoyed the show. And as always, we will see you next week. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.
See ya.